guys might be kind of stuck with each other, but beyond that, how have you kept the core of your band together for so long?
Got no place else to go.
We never had any money to fight over.
Oh, I don't know. We've been lucky to have a bunch of good guys. Guys that we all get along really well, and pros, and do their job well, and we like making music together. And we've had a few little personnel changes here and there, but for the most part, we've had the same core group of guys for a long time. And I always say you got to have thick skin and a short memory. That always helps too.
You talk about some of the changes. Say when you plug Joe Miller in, how do you kind of make those kind of decisions? Is it more about the relationships of who you know you're going to get along with? Is it more about knowing that their musical skills are going to be in the vein of what you're trying to accomplish? Or
it's a little of both. I mean, it has a lot to do with getting along with the guy, to begin with, because you don't want to be out on the road with somebody that you can't stand. And so that's kind of first and foremost. And then they got to be able to play and play the kind of music that we want to play. And it took us quite a while to find Joe. Went through a few different guys that just didn't quite fit. But once we, halfway through the first show we played with Joe, we pretty much knew he was going to be the guy.
Did you know him through Back Porch Mary when he was playing with them?
Yeah, not really well, but knew him for quite a while before he joined the band.
Stragglers are an example of bands I know well that really cite you guys as an inspiration and influence. And they'll tell me stories about when they would come see you play Stillwater in 97, 98, around that time.
I remember going over to their house, like the first time we played Stillwater. They had the yellow house, which was big. But yeah, those guys came to the show and they were like, "Hey, come party with us at this house." And we're like, "All right." Went over there and it was a lot of fun.
It was a squirrel running around in the living room.
Carl.
And they were like, "Oh, that's just nutty," or whatever his name is.
Carl.
Carl, that's I knew it had a name.
Yes, his name was Carl. They'd feed him pizza, shuttle pizza across after Childers would deliver the pizza.
Jason walked in, he's like, "I rolled this doobie up for you guys. I hope it's not too big."
And it was way too skinny and way too long.
It was way too skinny and way too long. It wasn't.
First time I heard that song, I was like, that is an accurate song. We were just joking with Jason backstage a minute ago. Tonight here at the festival is Old Farts Night, because all the bands, it's like us, and Randy and the Red Dirt Rangers, Bolin, Cody, and Great Divide. So all the bands have been together for, I'd say, most of us, at least 20 years.
Yeah, Cody was like, "Yeah, man, it really feels like the 90s back here." Like an older, fatter, grayer 90s.
Viagra night.
A minute ago you said you never had any money to fight over or whatever, but to me at least, I think that you guys are kind of an example of somebody that's made a successful transition from the how much can we drink on the river crowd to more of the Americana culture crowd, and kind of sort of transcended the scene a little bit.
Yeah, our crowd's kind of grown up with us a little bit. We've had the same fans for a long time, and when we started out, they were in college and we were that age, and now they have kids that they bring to the shows, and their kids are 15 years old, and they're starting to become fans and recruit younger guys too. But we've just got a really diverse following, age-wise, just because we play so much different kind of music. And yeah, we've kind of lately started to try to play more of the venues that are a little more listening rooms and theaters and stuff like that. But we can still do the rock and roll show.
It's fun to be able to do all of it. I mean, it keeps it interesting for us to be able to go out one night and play, the rodeo dance, and then the next night we're in a theater, and then the next night is a college rock and roll bar. And we've always kept our repertoire big enough or broad enough to be able to do all of that. We can play rock and roll or country or Americana, whatever. I mean, some of our favorite shows are acoustic shows. We sit down and just do broken down versions or do different stuff that we don't get to do every night. We say that a lot. We don't get to do this every night, but we really change it up so much that we really do kind of get to do it every night. It's pretty fun, and that's, I guess, you're talking about being together for 20 years, and we never really had any hits, or any major, mainstream success. So we've always been able to do what we want to do, musically, and have always just been able to kind of, whatever we feel like we want to do, been able to do that without anybody telling us, no, you can't do that. You have to go out and play the hits, or you have to go to this, or you guys are this band, you have to be a college rock band. But
there's a lot of freedom in being unsuccessful.
That's a quote.
Yeah.
What's on the horizon in the next year or two, if you have anything planned out that far?
We are still making plans for our next record. I've got a bunch of songs written, and we're going to try to get into the studio this fall, or hopefully at the latest sometime in the winter. But definitely want to try to get a record out by early next summer or maybe late spring. But we're real close to getting the details all ironed out. We're still trying to figure it all out.
Not sure what studio or where, that sort of thing?
Yeah, that stuff, that's where we're at, and we're trying to lock down a producer, and we're getting close to the finish line, but we're still just ironing out what dates work for everybody and stuff like that. We'll probably be making an announcement soon, hopefully.
Well, next year's our 20-year anniversary, and we talked about doing a big 20-year anniversary thing, and then decided that more our style would be to do a Reckless Kelly 21st birthday anniversary. So I think we're going to put out this new record, and then next year we'll kind of focus on the putting out a bunch of older stuff, unreleased stuff, and kind of more of a look back at the last 21 years.
Be like the classic rock band Rush. They did their 40 tour, but it was the 41st year. But they was like, well, we wanted a nice round number, so it was the 41st year, but we're just going to call it the 40 tour, regardless. Do you have any plans for different touring markets? Visit Europe? Anything that's different for you next?
We're still shaping out the touring schedule and all that, but we've been talking about going back to Europe a little bit, and some other places. We might head up to Canada a little bit. We're trying to work out a tour with Core Blund for August, and so I don't know if we'll be able to make it north of the border with him or not, but it's kind of an idea to maybe do a few shows up there while we're out west. It's tough to get all that stuff locked down, just because you go over to Europe, it's real expensive, and we haven't gone over there enough to really have much of a following yet. So if we're going to start doing that, we kind of really have to commit to it and go back at least once a year, if not twice, and start hitting it. But
I've been going to Ireland for a while. That's always fun. I'm jonesing for another trip over there.
Yeah, we need to get back.
And Australia's on the bucket list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely want to get over there. Ned Kelly, who we named the band after, was from Australia, so we've always wanted to do a tour over there, and they have some really great festivals, and we've had a lot of friends that have been over and said it's a lot of fun, so that's on our list.
A few musician friends in Australia.
Yeah.
I don't think it affects you guys going there, but they can't seem to get visas to come here for some reason. It's really been a trouble for him. A guy named Lloyd Spiegel's a guitar player over there, very talented. He can go tour Japan, to different, New Zealand and wherever. He can't seem to get his visa to US approved.
Just afraid they're going to drink all the beer.
Somebody in England, the same thing. There's a band, they're called the Red Dirt Skinners. It's a couple that their last name is Skinner, but then they play Americana style music, and they were just Googling trying to find a name for their band, and found out about Tom Skinner, and had named it, even though they had not encountered him. To name their band Red Dirt Skinners because they thought it fit their music, and
That's
also
cool.
thought he was talking to her, Sarah Skinner. She says, we can come to Canada, we can't get visas to the US.
That's weird. I didn't know that.
Our friends Kim and Carol Warner have a band called the Green Cards, and that's how they named their band. Was they're trying to come over and play in America now and having a hell of a time, and named their band the Green Cards. So.
Noah that was with the Stragglers.
Yeah.
He was on the verge of being in the Green Cards.
Yeah.
But I'm American, so I didn't make the cut. You guys have been to Medicine Stone before. What's been some of your favorite experiences here?
Last year was our first year, I think, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was cold last year. We were hanging out backstage.
I spent most of the day in the little bar up on the hill watching football, and then when the music started, I came back down. I had a stroll through, and we had a great time. We've all these guys that are on the bill, all weekend, we're all friends with, and and get to play with all over the country throughout the year. So, you know, we show up at these things, and it's like a family reunion. You know, you get to hang out, and we always end up staying up way too late and playing music around whatever campfire's available, and it's a good time. And I think these festivals kind of really, I don't know, it really ties in, you know, why we all do this stuff. You know, it really makes it fun to be able to do these things and be together and play music and share your stories and songs and jokes, and, you know, kind of keeps you going from gig to gig. You know, when you're out there slugging it out in the bars and doing stuff, it's like, all right, well, we got this one coming up. You know, this is going to be a fun one. So we always look forward to it.
You mentioned it's like a family reunion. How does it compare to your own family reunion, Braun Brothers reunion?
Pretty similar, yeah, very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little warmer, but last year it was about the same.
Yeah.